All right, guys, I'm joined today by Uros Medic, man, coming off of a fantastic win over D-Rod. D-Rod, one of the probably the hardest guys to finish. Man, you did it in 30 seconds. Welcome to the Weigh In Podcast, man. Thanks so much for joining the show. Where are you at right now?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I am in beautiful Montenegro. I'm just enjoying. There's a nice view on the sea. And it's just gorgeous, man. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really happy and blessed. Everything went smooth, and I'm just getting some quality time in, recharging for the next big thing.
I'm over here in Texas. It's 108 degrees. I'm dying right now.
It's pretty hot here too. I'm not gonna lie, but at least there's water.
Yeah. The last time you were telling me the last time I saw you was in Hawaii at the Bellator tryouts.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a long time since then. Was that 2019 or something, right?
Yeah.
I flew from Alaska to try myself out for the upcoming fight card that was happening in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I knew that mostly Bellator will be signing Hawaiians because the fight card is in Hawaii. I was hoping to be the guy that the Hawaiians need to fight. I didn't get signed, but then the next best thing that could have possibly happened in my life was getting signed by UFC, and the rest is history. Honestly, I couldn't be happier.
That's one of those things where you feel like everything happens for a reason, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I had no understanding of why I wasn't picked, but I just happened to be picked for something much greater.
Just so we're clear, okay? I don't want you to put pressure on me, but I was just there to run the tryouts. I had no selection in who got picked. Just want to make
Nah,
sure
you're
we're
all
clear.
good.
No animosity
You're all
towards
good.
me,
Yeah.
all right?
Nah. We're good. We cool.
All right, we cool, we cool. Hey man, great performance the other night. But one of the things that I took away from that was I know it was only 30 seconds, not really much to talk about in the fight. Were you surprised how easy it was?
No, because it wasn't easy at all, man. It was probably one of the hardest fights for me so far. The fight itself was the fight inside the cage was routine work for me, the regular Saturday night for the UFC fight. But the leading up to the fight, the preparation, the fight week, and the walkout to the cage was the real fight for me, man.
Why is that?
It was just, first of all, I tore meniscus on a Monday of the fight week. A
Oh,
knee was swollen like a balloon. I had PT every day, guys from the Performance Institute trying to flush the fluids out of my knee so I can get my range of motion back. And I would limp from interview to interview, hoping nobody will see me to see my limp and put it out in the news and give my opponent all the wind in the back he needed.
mhm.
Um, and praise God, I was just able to weather that and then stay completely composed walking out. I don't know if you've seen my walkout, but the people were just
Yeah.
screaming and chanting and singing my walkout song. And I just tried to not pay attention to like anything, any faces, give any fist bumps to anybody or nothing to get my focus off of the task at hand. I walked out, I walked in, and I was ready to put the lights out for whoever was standing in front of me. It did not matter.
When you signed that contract to fight D-Rod, knowing what he'd been through over the last 8, 9 months, did you at any moment go, "Oh man, he hasn't really been training for 8, 9 months"? Like, yeah,
No, I didn't think about that because fight is a fight, man. You can sometimes come in not properly prepared. You could come in sick. You could come in infected. You could come in hurt and put up the best performance ever. I didn't think about that because he had something to prove. I didn't think about that because he needed the money because he wasn't doing shit being in the prison. I know he had to pay money to get out of it. There was all things were pointing at do not overlook D-Rod because he was in the prison. Because everything was just telling me, hey, this is not a fight that you should just take lightly. I might have put too much pressure on myself because this was such a big thing going into the Serbia fight card, going into Belgrade for the first time in history. Me being the headline, me being the man of the hour. me being the person people want to see for so long
Mhm.
at our home soil, and I haven't gone there in 9 years. And in fact, I've gone there only once in 11 years because I left the Serbia in 2015. I visited in 2017. Since 2017 until 2026, I have not left the United States. Um, Only to come back in such a fashion, man, and bring home the most entertaining sport in the world at this moment and deliver performance of the night, have one of the best walkouts of the night, and probably best the Serbia has ever seen, because they've seen some other promotions come around. They have never seen nothing like it. It's getting millions of views across the platforms. People are reaching out to me. My Instagram has got 40 million impressions. Like,
Wow.
it's big. It's really big. You know, my following is not really um um it's not showing. You know, I got a huge following since the fight, but you
Mhm.
can't really tell how many impressions I'm getting and how many people are
Mhm.
looking at my profile and looking at shit that's happening, because it's not a, you can't really see it. You can see some real counts and like counts and all of that,
Mhm.
and that's pretty big. But yeah, it really blew up. Safe to say, blew up.
Saturday mornings used to mean coffee and sidelines. Now it's game time for all of us. We're running drills, chasing goals, and yeah, trying to keep up with each other. Soccer, lacrosse, doesn't matter. What matters is we're doing it together. But here's the thing I didn't expect. Training with your kids, it hits different. You sweat more, you push harder. And if you're not careful, you could burn yourself out. That's why I started bringing Element. No sugar, no junk, just electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, so you can stay sharp, stay moving, and stay in the game. Because when your kids look over and say, "Come on, Dad, keep up," you don't want to sit this one out. You want to be right there with them. Hydration isn't just about performance. It's about showing up. For them, for yourself, for moments like this. Element.
Stay salty.
Well, you said it. This was obviously the debut for the UFC coming into Serbia. You were the headline. A lot of pressure on you. A lot of family still there in Serbia,
Everybody, man, I left to this adventure all on my own. I had
and
nobody, I had no friends, I had no family, I had no money. I just left with hope, with the dream, with idea to do something with my life, do something greater, do something better, pursue something meaningful, and secure myself, my future family, and my current family a better life and better future. And more adventures. Now they come and visit me. We go places they've never been. My parents couldn't dream of going to the United States, but I made it happen. Now they come to California. They enjoy, the beautiful state of California. I'm going to take them to Alaska. I'm going to take them here and there and just have them see all that, because they deserve it, man. They raised me. They made me. Without them, I am nothing, and I owe absolutely everything to them. They've put my drive, my focus, my everything I am, they made it.
that makes a lot of sense, man. A lot of kids these days and a lot of young men and women don't respect their parents the way they should. And just remember where they came from and how
Yeah.
they were treated and what the parents gave up to give them a life they could live.
Right?
So I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
People forget, it's our parents' first time living too, They're doing their best, and it's a struggle. It's like you think they're your parents and they know everything, but they're just going at it through it the first time ever.
yep.
So it's a really important thing to kind of remember, and just cut him some slack sometimes, because we tend to be the rough, and we get into the arguments most often with the closest ones. You know how they say, oh, you think of yourself as a kind person because you're kind to strangers, kind to waiters, kind to these or that people you never see or you come across.
Mhm.
Try being the kindest person to your closest ones, because they know you the best. They can pull it out of you,
Mhm.
and throw you off like nobody else can. So that's where your kindness kind of comes into play. I try to think about that stuff sometimes, but man, I'm easy to get all pissed off and be like, man, what do you guys, leave me alone. I got this. My dad is like, you can't be waiting so much to cut that weight the last
Yeah.
minute. I'm like, why are you discussing this? You don't know anything about weight cutting.
Yeah.
Why are we, it just pisses me off. I'm like, man, why are you doing this?
That's a father's love, though. He doesn't want to see you
Yeah,
suffer. They don't. That's the problem. Like parents, they just don't want to see their kids suffer. It doesn't matter
I
what it
know.
is,
Right,
right?
right.
But then I also had a conversation today with a friend of mine and talking about her kids, and I was telling us that I said our kids are stronger than people give them credit for, or people think.
Hmm.
Our kids are very resilient. No different than you were when you were younger, and how I was when I
Yeah,
was younger. So we just gotta let them learn the hard way sometimes, but make sure that they stay safe and they don't get hurt too much.
right. That's
So.
all that matters, right?
How soon? How early did you go out to Serbia? Did you go out like a week before, 2 weeks, 10 days?
Yeah, like 12, 10, 12 days. I can't remember. To 20th till first, maybe 11 days or
Mhm.
something, 12 days.
And did you have
20th,
a
yeah.
chance to get acclimated to the time and
I
everything?
mean, yeah, I did, but it was just hard because it didn't feel like being home. It just felt like, man, I'm on a mission. There's no, I'm seeing some of my friends and my family, and I'm like, man, I'm so emotional right now, but I cannot like afford
Yeah.
to even talk about, everything that's been happening. I just have to like, hey, it's all good, man. I just got a few more days to get this job done, and once I'm done, I'm home. I'll be here for everything. I'll be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was I dimmed down my emotions so much that when I won that fight, I had nothing. I was empty. I had no emotions to like. It took me a second to kind of start the interview and then started pouring out of me, and I almost started crying. But in that moment when you think you'd be screaming and you'd be like relief and everything, I had nothing, man. I just climbed the cage and I was looking and I'm like, man, what a moment for me.
That
What a
was
moment. What a moment in my life, man. That was just probably the biggest thing that's happened to me so far.
that was my next question because I saw when he got inside the cage and he was getting ready, you were getting ready to do the interview, and he asked you a question and you just looked at him and you took a second, you looked around, you took a couple deep breaths, and you didn't answer. It took probably a good, I'd say 20, 30 seconds for you to actually get
Yeah.
any words out. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is what the casual fans of MMA just they can't wrap their hands around, but the hardcore fans and the true fans of MMA, they're like, man, this guy's been through so much just to get to this point. Me,
Yeah.
myself, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I know exactly, like, you're back at home. You probably didn't get a chance to spend real quality time with
Yeah.
your family yet because you're so focused on the fight.
Right.
And they're probably all hitting you up, like wanting to see you, wanting to spend time with you, and you're
Yeah.
not able to do it because you want to stay focused and dialed in on what you got to get done. And then when you win the fight in 30 seconds, you're like, it's all done.
Yeah.
That sense
The
of
work's
relief and
been
that
paid. Yeah.
that look on your face. And I was like, he's so relieved. This is huge for
Yeah.
him. So
Yeah,
talk,
man. It was
talk to me
so
about
big.
that moment.
It was so big. I was at loss of words, really. I was like, man, I know how much I have to say because of all the years that I have missed, but I just had no thoughts. I had no because I was so exhausted from that week, from the injury, from uh, interview after interview after interview, new media, the ones from Serbia, and I can't really say no to all of them. I said no to a lot of them, but I can't say no to all of them. I had to. Somebody was some of those were on my schedule. Then doing an open workout with a hurt knee, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, yo, how am I gonna, I'm just gonna box a little bit, move around, and then take the mic and just start talking to the crowd. And that's exactly what I did because I just had not I had no room to make a mistake and get hurt more or something like that. And then a press conference, and they're asking all these questions, and I'm just like sitting there. I'm the main event, and I'm just like, yo, I gotta keep my cool as much as possible. And I kept my cool so much so that after it was done, I was like, what do I even say now, man?
Yeah.
I have just, and then slowly it got out of me, and I started, just telling my story a little bit. And 9 years, it's a long time, and I'm gonna do some. This is the first media I'm doing since it's been already a week
Thank you.
since. So yeah, I'm gonna do some media in the next weeks and just kind of tell my story a little more and things that I didn't say because there was not enough time and not enough energy and not enough just brain power for me to do that. So these next few weeks will be I'll be working on that, and then I'll be healing my meniscus tear that I have caught on the Monday of the fight week. They'll probably do a little procedure on it. Hopefully nothing major. I just did an MRI a few days ago. So they said it's going to need a small surgery, but it's one of those non-invasive ones with little arthroscopic or whatever
Yep.
the name is.
Yep. They're gonna go
So I'll
in,
be
snip it, stitch it, and you should be
right.
able to. You'll walk out of there probably that day,
Yeah.
and you gotta
So
be very careful for the next probably 30 days, and you should be good to go.
right. Yep. That's what they say. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll use that time to kind of uh, just spend some more quality time with friends and family, with close family,
How long you plan
and
on staying there in
the
Montenegro
plan
and
was
when you return?
until I'm in Montenegro another maybe a few days, but I'm going back to Serbia. There was a heat wave out there right through the fight week. It was like 100 and above, so you can't even do nothing through the day. You gotta kind of lay low, and then in the evening you can get out. And my team was having such a blast, man. I was taking them around. They were trying foods while I'm cutting weight. I was enjoying watching them just indulge. They were having all the Serbian cuisine, and it was good, man. It was such a good time, such a big moment, because we've just talked about it for many years, but we're not able to make it happen. And for all of my prayers to be answered and everything to come together, and just, I just gotta praise God. That's all I can say, really.
I was trying to liken this, and I know I know the White House card was such a big card, but I go, but anytime someone has an opportunity to debut when the UFC is debuting in their home country and they are the main event, this was almost like
Hmm.
your White House card. This is your version
That's
of the
what I
White House
say.
card
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't get any bigger, any better than this. The song that I picked, the crowd was just blown away. It's one of our most patriotic songs, very historical meaning. I said it when I watched Justin Gaethje. I'm like, man, I need to experience this. I need to feel these feelings, because he was standing there with American flag in front of the Declaration of Independence. I thought of that it being the most patriotic scene in all of sports history. I have never seen anything like that. For me as a non-American to feel such pride and such like feeling of patriotism, I'm like, this man, what he's feeling right now, it cannot be compared to anything in the world. And for him to win and take the belt home, I mean, I generally like don't message other athletes. I know
Yeah.
Justin, we are managed by the same guy, but I sent him a message. I said, man, if there's one athlete I'd like to be like, and the way you fight, and like I would like for me, like this is how I want my career to be like Justin Gaethje's, because he is the definition of a fighter.
Yep.
Like, just fucking to the death, violence to the death. If it means that, so be it.
Yeah. All right. So, how many fights do you have left on your contract? And have you had any conversations about renewing? And what's it look like going forward, like in terms of competition? Have they brought any names to you after that fight? 30 seconds, you would think they'd try to book you again right away.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know, 'cause the contract I have, and I think at least three more. I just
Okay.
signed a 5-fight deal before Jeff Neal. So I did two 30-second fights.
Yeah.
I'll probably
Your
do.
last
I'll
four, your
probably.
last four fights have been under 4 minutes. All four of them
Yeah.
combined, it's been under 4 minutes. So
It's pretty
very
crazy
impressive.
stat. Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
crazy.
I just, to me, my goal is, to just leave a mark like that in the fighting world. Just come in, be super violent, have a lot of fights and a lot of finishes. Obviously every athlete dreams of obtaining a belt. This is the ultimate dream, the ultimate fighter. This is the cementing your name in the history forever. This is my goal and every fighter's goal. But along that, I just want to be the fucking violent guy that's gonna go and put it on there, and know for the other guy to know that he's in for a fucking car crash when he gets there. Like it, you gotta know that. You gotta be aware, and that's I think it's the way to go about it in this sport, in this fight business.
So let me go over this. Urbina, you get him out of there in a minute 30. Salikov, you get him out of the minute 3. And Jeff Neal, a minute 19. And then now D-Rod, 30 seconds. I mean, your last 4 fights have all been under 4 minutes, even less. It's like been 3.5 minutes for your last 4 fights. That's insane. That's a great stat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm gonna keep it rolling, man. I don't think there's anybody else that has a start like me. Obviously these guys, D-Rod called me a 1 round fighter. I've been past the 1 round and I finished other guys in late rounds, in second round. Omar Morales, who's never been finished before in the UFC. Matthew Semmelsberger, who's never been knocked out before me in the UFC. Like, these are all things you can check. They might have been submitted. Don't hold my word on that, but they've never been knocked out or KTO. TKO, my bad. Technical, yeah. So for me to do all of that in the later rounds against the guys that have fought some really tough competition and have not been knocked out or finished, to me, that's also very impressive. It gets overlooked. Nobody really pays attention to that. And I mean, those guys are no longer in the UFC, but that doesn't make him any less of a fighter because they've been in the UFC for a long time as well. So I'm just gonna try to keep that like going. Like, people complain to me, man. I didn't even get a chance. I went to the fridge. I opened my beer and the fight was over. And I think everybody is learning by this time that, like, yo, I'm fighting. You got to be glued to the screen because it's gonna be fashionable. It's gonna be spectacular, and it's gonna be freaking quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't get up and leave. I mean, like
No.
you look at the numbers and you can see that all your fights are, pretty fast in terms of your finishing. Look, I looked at the rankings. The media rankings right now have got you at number 10, and the meta rankings have got you, I think, at number 12. And in that mix, you jumped up 2 spots, I think, on the meta rankings. But look, let me just name some names off before. You got Joaquin Buckley at number 9. You got Leon Edwards at number 8. Bilal Muhammad, Gabriel Bonfim, Sean Brady, JDM, and then Michael Morales, and so on up into the top. You're going to have to fight probably at least once, maybe twice to even get close to sniffing that title shot. But give me some names. Give me 2 names that you would really be interested in fighting.
Yeah, I've said it. I mean, I called for Leon. Reason being is he has a great spot in the rankings. He's been a former champion. He's a great athlete. He's cemented his name in the history. Scratching him off the list would definitely set me up well for the future bouts. But the fight that I would really want is fight against Carlos Prates, because I think of that fight being the most entertaining fight the UFC could possibly make in this division right now. The way we fight, the way we look to get a knockout, the way we know how to sense when there is a finish, I think would make a spectacular fight. And the lead up to the fight, just altogether, I think it would be a fight to remember. Besides that, Jack Della Maddalena is an amazing fight as well for me. I think we would put up a great fight, and I think I'd be able to put him out as well and finish him. So any one of those 3 fights, I'll take it. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no to whatever they offer me. I am the top 15. I have said yes to the fights before. They have offered me fights on a Tuesday of the fight week, switch up from a kickboxer to a full wrestler, and I've said yes to that as well. Cost me a loss, but I'm not the guy to shy away from the fight, man. I'm there. If they want it, they can come and get it, man.
Did we have a date yet on your surgery for the meniscus tear?
No, I'm gonna be back in Serbia in about a few days, and I'm gonna sit with the orthopedic surgeon. We're probably gonna jump right on it, so it should be done in no time. I sent some paperwork to UFC, just waiting to hear from them. Time zone difference. Obviously, it's all in Serbian, so they'll probably just translate it, do whatever, and then figure it out. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a big issue. We'll just get that healed up as fast as we can, and I'll be back in the zone in no time.
So are you expecting a fight before the end of the year?
Honestly, it would be amazing. I've been fighting about 3 times a year. This would be the third fight this year if we can make it happen. Sometimes late. It would be ideally, man. What I would like is just get it before holidays, if I can, and then just enjoy the holidays and go some snowboarding in Alaska. It looks like Jorge Masvidal is joining me, and what's his name? We had an interview. He was out at the desk the other day.
Justin Gaethje.
No, it wasn't Dustin. It was Gosh, it's
Chris
a tip of
Weidman,
my
Dean
tongue.
Thomas,
No, no.
Alan Joban,
He was 170. He just retired recently. Mike, is it Mike?
Mike Chiesa.
Yes, sorry,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's the tip of my tongue.
Chiesa's from my
Chiesa's,
neighborhood, man. Chiesa,
yeah,
I used to train up in Idaho, and he's from that Washington Spokane area. So
he
Chiesa's a
just
good
said
dude.
he's a snowboarder, so
Yeah.
we're all going to Alaska. So I'm hoping get one more in before the year's over, and then enjoy some good snow in Alaska and get some quality time in out there.
The Miami kid, king of the street, Masvidal can board? Really?
Hey, listen, this is gonna be a big question for everybody. I'm gonna make sure to film as much as I can. He's been talking the big talk. I believe he can ski, so we're gonna put that to the test. We all know he can fight like
Yeah,
a
we
madman, but
yeah.
can he ski? It's gonna be the question to be answered.
That's awesome. I can't get you out of here without asking about this weekend's fight. You got Ian Gary Machado versus Islam Makhachev. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, I got to ask you, like, what's your take
yeah.
on Ian Gary himself? What's your take on Islam? And then how do you see that fight going?
Yeah, as far as Ian Gary being a fighter, winning fights and securing his spot as a number one contender, I give all the props. He's been doing great. Although he's been running a lot, scoring his points and getting some split decision here and there. I give him credit because he's won the fights. That's all that matters. To become a champion, you got to win the fights. With that being said, I do not see Ian Gary's path to victory against Islam Makhachev. And to be honest, I don't see that with anybody in the division at this point, including myself. We all have to catch up with some of his style and some of his wrestling. I don't know how we're going to do that, but Father Time is on our side. So I'm sure he's going to take that into consideration if he decides to defend his belt a couple more times. Anything can happen. You know, there's a person that got lucky against Islam early on in his career, and it was a southpaw striker. Something like that could happen again. You never know. And as I said before, Father Time is knocking, and he better be cautious. I don't know how long he wants to stay in the game, and I'm assuming he's gonna want to go out just like Habib did, somewhat undefeated. Habib actually went undefeated, but Islam already has one loss. But he has done such an amazing job in his career and such big accomplishment. Realizing the father and his uncle's dream and a full vision, and probably exceeding the vision itself
Yeah.
by far. The most incredible story in sports, in my opinion. Kids from nowhere, kids from not a lot. They didn't have money. They didn't have resources. They didn't have nothing but grit, perseverance, belief, family, a strong bond with each other, and the true brotherhood and the true love. So I'm happy and congratulations to them. It's a really big thing. And yeah, I don't really see how Ian Gary can do it. If he can pull that off, man, hats off to him, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it, but if he can, I'm not an analyst. I obviously need to study more. I didn't see Justin Gaethje's path to victory either.
Yeah. Not a lot of people did.
Not a lot of people. Yeah. How about you? Did you see his path to victory there?
Yes, I did. I said exactly
Wow.
I thought what it was going to be is the shorter fighter, and also to the uppercuts that Gaethje does so well with, and the fact that Ilia Topuria has kind of more of a boxer stance. He's heavy on that lead leg. I thought maybe the leg kicks would play more of a factor. They didn't play as much of a factor, but those uppercuts were money
Very impressive.
because Ilia does clam up, and he is the shorter guy,
Yeah.
so the uppercuts land clean. And I knew once that first uppercut landed in that first round, and he started covering his eye and putting his hand over his eye, I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time before Justin keeps landing the shots. I was a
Right.
little concerned in that second round, though, when he got dropped to the body and
Yeah, that was crazy.
forward, man. Justin, like you said, one of those guys. He's your favorite fighters. He's like he's your fighter's favorite fighter, whatever it is, right? He's one of those guys. Like, I love watching him fight. There's not a fight I will never not watch him fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I feel like he's outmatched. Doesn't matter any of those things. And I think people took too much stock in the fact that Max Holloway lost to Ilia, and then Max beat Justin. They put too much stock in that because if you've been in this game long enough, styles make matchups.
Yeah. The math don't math.
Justin Gaethje is built for those type of fights. In Ilia Topuria, we had never seen him in those kind of fights. And that's Justin's game. Every guy that's ever tried to go with him blow for blow very rarely has any type of success.
Right.
And I thought it was playing right into Gaethje's game, and sure enough, I mean, the physical size too of Gaethje over Ilia, I thought would play a little bit of a factor, which I think did, as Justin started hanging on his head, trying to land the uppercuts and landing some shots. It started playing a factor as well. So we'll see what happens when Ilia comes back. Will he be the same fighter, and will that aura still, I know it's kind of been depleted a little bit, but can he win it back? Because it will be easy for him to win it back because of what he did with all the sample size that we saw beforehand. People will be like, oh, he's back. He's back, and so they'll jump back on the bandwagon. I think everyone's quick to jump off the bandwagon after a loss like that. But when you fight someone like Justin Gaethje, you got to expect a damn battle every single time.
Right. Yeah, I believe he can come back, and I believe he can come back even better because he's such a tremendous athlete, and he's just so well-rounded too. The one mistake I thought he made in that fight is trying to submit Justin. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah.
He could have just used the better opportunity, but hindsight 2020, and also, we are just the spectators at that point. Like you can't.
Yeah.
He probably thought that was the best thing to do because Habib did it. But yeah, Habib is a specialist grappler, and I think Ilia is a specialist boxer. But needless to say, is one of the most impressive fighters that we have currently on the roster, with his skill set, with his knockout power, and it's just the way he carries himself. And he's made such a great career in a short span, made so much money, and I don't think he really cares whether or not people are on bandwagon or not. He's just so confident, and I think the loss will only make him bigger and greater. Because shit, look at Justin. The losses have only made him fucking better. He couldn't become a champion for a while, and look at him now,
Yeah.
So, it's just super impressive, incredible division. It's just you love to see it as a fight fan. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a more picture perfect like story going into that White House card, and everyone in the underdog, the American dream, we were never supposed to win the war. We were never supposed to be able
movie.
it was literally like, you're right. 100% it was a movie. And it just felt good to see Justin finally get his flowers, at the end with the belt wrapped around his waist and the way that it all happened. So
yeah, unbelievable.
Hey, my man, good luck with the surgery. Obviously I'd love to get you back on before, your next fight is announced, or right when your fight's announced. We can talk about, your next fight coming up. And man, it's always been great catching up. And I'm glad that you reminded me about the Hawaii stuff, because to be honest, man, I do a lot of interviews, but I was a little nervous doing an interview with you because I was like, man, I've seen you fight a bunch of times, but like I haven't really listened to any of your interviews. And like you said, you don't really do a lot of media. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So I was like, couldn't really pull too much. I was like, all right, well, let's see what we can talk about. And you jumped on, and it was great, man.
No, it was great. It was great.
Conversation.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I watched many of your interviews, so I knew it was going to be fun. So I wasn't really even tripping about it. So all good, man. I'm happy to jump on whenever. I'm glad we're doing this. So we just got to keep the ball rolling and keep winning, and we'll be here many times again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uros Medic, man, congratulations on your fight, and we'll be talking soon, my man. Saturday mornings used to mean coffee and sidelines. Now it's game time for all of us. We're running drills, chasing goals, and trying to keep up with each other. Soccer, lacrosse, doesn't matter. What matters is we're doing it together. But here's the thing I didn't expect. Training with your kids, it hits different. You sweat more, you push harder. If you're not careful, you could burn yourself out. That's why I started bringing Element. No sugar, no junk, just electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, so you can stay sharp, stay moving, and stay in the game. Because when your kids look over and say, "Come on, Dad, keep up," you don't want to sit this one out. You want to be right there with them. Hydration isn't just about performance. It's about showing up. For them, for yourself, for moments like this. Element.
Stay salty.